Have you ever just stopped and asked yourself, how do I actually know the things I think I know? I mean, it sounds simple, right? But it's actually one of the deepest questions you can ask. Well, today, we're going to crack open a really fascinating, ancient framework from Indian philosophy that gives us a powerful set of tools for thinking about knowledge itself. Okay, so let's just dive right in with a super simple question. How do you know for a fact that it's raining outside right now? Seriously, take a second. What's your proof? How do you know it? You probably came up with one of two answers, right? You either said, well, I know it's raining because I can see the raindrops falling. Or you said something like, I know it rained because I can see the ground is all wet. And here's the cool part. Both of those answers are totally valid, but they are two completely different ways of arriving at the exact same conclusion. And this is where ancient thinkers were just way ahead of the game. They actually developed a whole system to categorize these different paths to knowledge. The best way to think about it is like a toolbox for thinking, a set of unique instruments you can use to build your understanding of pretty much everything.
The official term for this whole concept is pramana, and it literally just means the tools or the instruments for getting valid knowledge. In this system, there are 6 main tools. So let's open up the toolbox, shall we?
First up, let's start with the 2 tools you probably use 1,000 times a day, maybe without even realizing it. We'll call these the direct tools. They're all about what's right in front of you and what's happening inside your own head. They're immediate, they're personal. Okay, tool number 1, and this is the big one, prachaksha, or just perception. This is any knowledge you get directly through your senses. What you see, what you hear, smell, taste, and touch. It's the raw data feed from the world around you. And this brings us right back to our first answer about the rain. If you look out the window and you literally see the rain coming down, you're using prataksha. There are no steps in between. You perceive it, and so you know it. It is the most direct way of knowing anything. Now for the second tool, anumana, which is inference. This is the knowledge you get by connecting the dots. It's all about using your reason, your logic to connect something you're observing now with something you already know from the past. And this, of course, is our second answer. You don't actually see the rain. What you see is the evidence it left behind, the wet ground. And because you have previous knowledge that, hey, rain makes the ground wet, you infer that it must have rained. You're using your reason to bridge that gap.
All right, let's look at the next set of tools in our kit. If those first 2 were all about what you know personally and directly, these next 2 are about how we learn from the world outside ourselves. These are relational tools. They depend on getting information from beyond your own direct experience, which is, how we build pretty much all of our shared knowledge.
So our third tool is upamana, or comparison. This is how we figure out something new by comparing it to something we already understand. It's the magic of analogy, that little aha moment when you go, oh, I get it, this new thing is kind of like that other thing I already know.
Think of it like this. Your friend tells you they just got a ginger cat. Now, you've never seen their cat, but you have seen other cats before, and you definitely know what the color ginger looks like. By comparing those 2 ideas, you can build a pretty solid picture of their new cat in your mind. That's upamana at work.
Our fourth tool is shabda, or testimony. And this one is absolutely huge. It's basically all the knowledge you get from a source you consider reliable and trustworthy. It could be a person, a book, a documentary. We use this tool constantly. Of course, the real trick is deciding who or what is a reliable source, but that's a whole other can of worms.
Just think about it for a second. Have you personally done the math and the astronomical observations to prove that the Earth goes around the sun? Probably not, right? You know it because a source you trust, like your science teacher or a textbook or NASA, told you so. You accept their testimony as fact.
Okay, these last 2 tools are, I think, where things get really, really clever. They go beyond the obvious into the world of the abstract. These are the unseen tools. They help us find knowledge in what a situation implies, and, you're going to love this, in what isn't even there at all.
Number 5 is arthapati, or presumption. This is the kind of knowledge you come to when you're faced with a situation that just doesn't add up. You have to come up with a hypothesis, a new idea that makes the puzzle make sense. You're basically proposing a new fact to explain the facts you already have.
So here's a classic example. Let's say you notice your friend is gaining weight, fact 1, but they swear they aren't eating more food, fact 2. These 2 facts seem to contradict each other, right? So you use presumption. You create a new idea to resolve the conflict.
Okay, maybe they're not eating more, but they must be eating differently, like higher calorie foods. That new idea makes it all make sense.
Now, it's really important to see how this is different from inference. With inference, you see smoke, and you infer fire. It's a straight line. With presumption, you see conflicting evidence, and you have to invent a reason to make it logical. It's a creative leap you take to solve the puzzle.
And that brings us to our final tool, number 6, anupalabdhi, or non-perception. This might sound a little weird at first, but it is such a profound concept. It's the idea that you can gain real, valid knowledge from the absence of something where you'd expect to find it. How amazing is that?
And honestly, it's super simple in practice. We do this all the time. Imagine you're looking for your keys. You look at the kitchen table, you scan the whole surface, and you don't see your keys. From that act of not perceiving them, you gain a new piece of knowledge. My keys are not on this table. You know something new based on what you didn't see.
So there we go. That's the whole set. A complete toolbox for thinking about and navigating the world. Now, not every school of Indian philosophy uses all 6 of these, but together they make up this incredibly comprehensive system. Let's do one final quick rundown of what's in our new toolbox.
We've got perception, seeing things for yourself; inference, connecting the dots; comparison, learning by analogy; testimony, trusting the experts; presumption, solving the puzzle; and non-perception, learning from what's missing.
So why does any of this ancient stuff matter today? Because you are already using every single one of these tools every single day to make decisions, to solve problems, to build your entire picture of reality. This framework doesn't really give you new tools, it just gives you the instruction manual for the ones you've been using your whole life. So I'll leave you with a final question. Now that you can actually see these different tools that you use to build your knowledge, which one do you think you rely on the most? Which one do you trust more than any of the others? Your answer might actually tell you a lot about how you see the world. Something to think about.